What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video, I'm going to be listing off the worst Funko Pops from every MCU movie. So let's check it out.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
So about 2 months ago now, I want to say, I had made a video that was titled The Best Funko Pops from Every MCU Movie, where essentially I went down a list of every single MCU movie, starting off with 2008's Iron Man, and worked my way until the newest movie that Funko has made pops for, which in this case would be the upcoming 2022 film of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, coming out in November, and listed off the best Funko Pops from each of those movies. And I thought I would do a kind of adaptation to that, to where I discussed the worst Funko Pops from all those movies, considering that last video did very well as terms to views, so I thought you guys would definitely want this video. So kicking off with 2008's Iron Man, I had chosen the Iron Man Mark I suit. Now this was a 2018 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Now if you watched that previous video, this pop was also listed as the best Funko Pop for Iron Man 1, and it's listed as the worst is because it's the only pop that was actually ever made specifically for this movie. So because it is the only pop, that makes it both the best and the worst pop for Iron Man 1. Next up would be 2008's The Incredible Hulk, which actually there are no Funko Pops for this movie. So therefore, there are no pops to say that is the worst and that is the best. Next up would be 2010's Iron Man 2, and I had chosen the Marvel Collector's Corps exclusive Whiplash vs. Iron Man moments. Now this is the same situation as the Iron Man Mark I, where because it is the only pop involved ever made for Iron Man 2, it's not only the best Funko Pop for that lineup, it is also the worst Funko Pop for that lineup. Moving on to 2011's Thor, in which the Funko Pop I had chosen here is Thor. Now this movie was easy to do because for this lineup there are only 2 pops. And for the best list, I had chosen the Loki pop. So that automatically would make the Thor pop here as the worst pop for the 2011 Thor movie. Next up is 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. And the Funko Pop I had chosen here is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Captain America with the prototype shield. Now there have been a pretty decent amount of Captain America First Avenger pops, including that, I think it was Emerald City Comic Con Steve Rogers pop, but this one compared to a lot of the pops is very plain and simplistic, which is why I listed it as the worst pop for this movie. Next up is 2012's The Avengers, which the pop I had chosen here is Thor. Now this pop specifically is for the original, I believe it's 6-pop wave for the Avengers that came out in 2012 in time for the movie. This pop is just oddly made, especially when you have kind of like a tiny head sculpt, and the eyes just look so ginormous because of it. Moving on to 2013's Iron Man 3, the pop I had chosen is Iron Man. Now for this set, there were some decent pops, like you had War Machine, which looked really cool. You had the Deep Space Suit, which I believe I listed as the best pop from Iron Man 3. And then we had the Iron Patriot suit. So when you have these really cool pops, and then you have the Iron Man to go along with it as the only 4 pops, then it makes it the least interesting because you already had 3 cool looking pops that aren't Iron Man. It just made the Iron Man just not look the greatest compared to the 3 other pops involved in the set. Moving on to 2013's Thor: The Dark World, the Funko Pop I had chosen is the Gold Chrome Thor. Now the reason I can definitely tell that this is from that specific movie is because of the exact mold of the pop, and I mean it's a gold chrome pop, so there's obviously not much detail besides the shiny color. Moving on to 2014's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I had chosen the Black Widow. This is kind of the same situation going on with the Thor pop that we talked about earlier, where it is a very tiny head mold and then it makes the eyes look very big, so it looks very awkward. Next up is 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, which the pop I had chosen is the Unmasked Star-Lord. I mean, the body mold looks alright, but what makes this really awkward is the way the head mold is, not because of the fact that it's a tiny head with big eyes, but the fact that obviously Star-Lord being played by Chris Pratt, the head sculpt does not look anything like Chris Pratt. And then for these next few pops, they're kind of in the same realm, and you guys will understand why as I'm gonna go through a bunch of movies in a row right now. For 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, I have the Gold Chrome Hulk. For 2015's Ant-Man, I have the Gold Chrome Ant-Man. For 2016's Captain America Civil War, I have the Gold Chrome Iron Man. For 2016's Doctor Strange, I have the Gold Chrome Doctor Strange. And for 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I have the Gold Chrome Gamora. You can kind of see where I was going here in the fact that there was a bunch of Gold Chrome pops made back in 2018 for the Marvel 10-year anniversary for the MCU, and Funko decided to make a bunch of Gold Chrome pops for the Marvel lineup, and 2018 was the year overall where Funko decided to make a bunch of Chrome pops, kind of like in today's age how we have a ton of artist series and a ton of blacklight pops. The Gold Chrome, I mean, it makes sense for some characters, but not for the abundance of characters that they made here. Moving on to 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming, I had chosen the Hot Topic exclusive Unmasked Spider-Man. Now, although the entire lineup of Homecoming pops are actually pretty decent, this makes it as the worst because we already have a Peter Parker with this exact head mold, and then we already have a regular, like, full-on masked Spider-Man with that exact same body pose. So it's almost like you could have taken those separate pops and then you could have just swapped the parts, and then boom, instead of buying the pop from Hot Topic, you already have the two pops and you just switched up the body parts there. For 2017's Thor Ragnarok, I have the Gold Chrome Loki. For 2018's Black Panther, I have the New York Comic Con Gold Chrome Shuri. And for 2018's Avengers Infinity War, I have the Gold Chrome Spider-Man. Once again, it was very weird to see the whole Gold Chrome setup for the Marvel lineup, and it's just not that appealing, at least in my opinion, thus making it the worst pops for those specific movies' sets. And if I'm not mistaken, that should have been the last set of Gold Chrome pops for this entire video. For 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp, I have the Chase version of Ant-Man. The reason I put this as the worst is because, especially with the head sculpt that is here, it looks nothing like the actor who plays Ant-Man, which is of course Paul Rudd. I do not see a resemblance of Paul Rudd whatsoever when it comes to this Funko Pop. I don't know if maybe it's the facial hair because they made it so that it's kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow, but with the way that they made it in Funko Pop form, it makes him look much older, and we all know what Paul Rudd looks like. The man does not age. He's like 55 and he looks like he's like 20 years younger. So when I look at this, it does not look like Paul Rudd, and I'm sure a lot of you guys don't think it looks like Paul Rudd either. For 2019's Captain Marvel, I have Nick Fury. Now, although there were some good and there were some bad Captain Marvel pops for the 2019 movie, this one has to be the worst just because of how simplistic it is and how I definitely would have never guessed that it was Nick Fury unless I had looked at the box. You would have showed me out of box, hey, guess who this is? I probably would have said like Will Smith off of Men in Black, because that's kind of what it looks like in my opinion. For 2019's Avengers Endgame, I have the Orange Chrome Hulk that was exclusive to Walmart. I actually almost forgot about these Chrome Pops because in 2018 we did get the Avengers Infinity War versions where it was all Thanos with the different colors of the Infinity Stones, and then they made one with the Hulk because there was the Hulk with the Nano Gauntlet, which also had the different stones in it. But I felt it was such a money grab because obviously it made sense with Thanos. I mean, now they're doing it with Hulk, it's like, eh. But I had to choose one color out of these 6 different colors, and I decided to go with orange because it just does not look the greatest. For 2019 Spider-Man Far From Home, I have the Amazon exclusive Spider-Man borrowed jersey. Now this one is a little meh because of the fact that it does not look like Spider-Man. I don't even think it should have been labeled Spider-Man. The box should have been labeled as Peter Parker. For 2021's Black Widow, I have the common Natasha Romanoff. Now, although this pop does look pretty decent, it is the most simplistic out of the ones they did. They did do the Black Widow like white suit version, and then they did one with like a different posing, and those ones looked kind of better. For 2021 Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, I have the Marvel Collector's Core exclusive Xia Ling. Now there are 2 pops of this character I believe for the lineup, and both of them aren't the greatest, but the reason I chose this one over the other one is because I believe the other one, which is a common, is her holding some sort of like rope with like a hook on it or some sort of weapon in her hand. At least least it's doing something, unlike this one where it's just arms to the side. For 2021's The Eternals, I have the Funko Shop exclusive Icarus. Now this is the worst pop of the set because it just does not look like a Marvel pop, and especially the fact that when I'm looking at this photo, it is the out-of-box pop, and it just does not scream that it's a Marvel pop. It could scream like it's a television sitcom, like let's say The Office, a Parks and Rec, a Community, some pop from like a TV show like that. For 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, I have the upcoming 2022 New York Comic Con exclusive Statue of Liberty. This by far is the worst Funko Pop for the Spider-Man No Way Home lineup. I don't know how many people were actually really pumped for this pop. I'm sure a lot of people, from what I last remember, were commenting wanting Green Goblin and Doc Ock and Electro, the villains, and the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. We want those for Spider-Man No Way Home. For 2022's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I have America Chavez. Now this obviously is the original one because they have made, I believe, 3 versions of America Chavez already in pop form, and I felt like with each and every one they've done, they've made it slightly better. This one's like a casual version. They've made one where she might have been in some sort of battle pose, and then they did the one for San Diego Comic-Con where she has the Star Portal, and I think that one obviously is the best one out of the America Chavez's. The first one is still a good pop, but when you look at the entire set of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and you look at, let's say, the Zombie Strange and the moments that they've made, that this one kind of is left in the shadows a little bit and is the most simplistic one of the set, making it the worst one for this movie. For 2022's Thor Love and Thunder, I have the Walmart exclusive 4-pack of the Mighty Thor, Thor, Valkyrie, and Gore. And the reason is simple, is that Funko has this tendency nowadays thinking that it's okay to just slap common pops into a multi-pack. And last but not least, we have ourselves the upcoming 2022 film of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the pop I had chosen is the Funko Shop exclusive Shuri. Now this is a little bit heartbreaking because obviously Shuri is going to be kind of like the main focus of this movie since T'Challa is no longer in the movie due to Chadwick Boseman's passing. And I mean, it's the most simplistic one out of the entire set. They have really cool molds as terms to the entire set with the characters. Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video on the worst Funko Pops from every MCU movie, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think is the worst MCU Funko Pop that has been made thus far. And as said in the little intro, make sure you press the subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video and hope to see you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here. Follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. If you want to check out some of our other content that's featured on our channel, you can click either the playlist that's on your screen right now featuring previous episodes of our weekly podcast, A Funko Popcast, or we have suggested a video for you guys in relation to today's video.